going on, YouTube? So thanks for tuning into the video. You've already seen the title. I'm going to be talking about juicing, benefits of it, how it's going to help with fat loss, as a lot of people would think it does, or does it actually help with fat loss? As you know, I've been in a cutting phase recently, which you may or may not know if you follow my Instagram or not, but I've actually been juicing for about 1 to 2 months now. Actually, maybe a little longer than that, but anyway, I've been doing it for a while, almost every single day. And I always get asked questions about this, what's the recipe I use? What are the benefits I found? How does it compare to other things that you could do instead? So I'm gonna go over those all in today's video. So again, thanks for stopping by. I hope you learned something from this. And let's see, is juicing really worth the hype? Let's find out. All right, I'm gonna show you my recipe first as to what I put into the juices I take. Gotta be honest, my mom makes these most of the time, and she's the one that came up with the recipe. However, how it worked one day was I walked upstairs, I saw her making this juice. I didn't realize before, but we have a juicer here. Okay, the veggies are all set up, by the way. So I saw that and I was like, oh, trying to stay healthy and all that good stuff. I figured, you know what, let me try some of that. Now here's the thing, I've tried something such as veggie greens in the past. Most of you already know about veggie greens or some other kind of greens powder. So I've tried that in the past and it didn't work for me at all because one, the taste was absolutely atrocious. I actually ended up throwing up one time, no joke. So that didn't really work out for me. However, I did notice benefits from taking it in terms of energy and all the stuff that it's meant to do. So I decided to try this juice, and specifically this recipe I'm gonna show you. And I actually enjoyed it. It tasted very good, which is very tough for me to please my taste buds. So if it pleases my taste buds, it probably will If it pleases my taste buds, it'll probably please yours as well. Okay, so let's start with the recipe first. So come on in here. Basically, this is what it looks like with all the veggies prepped. Now we've got, beets, we've got apple actually, so it's not entirely veggies. There's a little bit of fruit. We got tomatoes as well. We've got celery, cucumbers, carrots. We've got these beans here. We've got radish. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but some radish there. There's also some ginger inside. So that's what the veggies look like. And I'm gonna go ahead and toss these in here, show you how I make it. Pretty straightforward. It's a bit of a time-consuming process, including buying the veggies, cutting them up, washing them, prepping them, all that stuff. Show you what it looks like once it's finished. Let's find out, all right? So let me make this. So I just realized as I'm putting the apple in that I should probably mention why we're putting apples in this, even though it's a juicing, which is usually done with veggies. The reason is you want something sweet in there to kind of balance out the very spicy hit that you'll get from the ginger, very bitter. If you don't put something sweet in, it might not taste as good. So that's why the apple's in there. Sometimes you can put a pear in as well. Another thing I wanted to mention is this recipe changes just slightly from day to day. So sometimes we'll also have spinach or kale in there, or both. Okay, we've got tomatoes, in which case sometimes I don't have tomatoes, I'll have more ginger instead. That's something to keep in mind. It doesn't have to be the exact same recipe every time. Just a variety or a multitude of fruits and veggies that usually you wouldn't be able to eat on your own in a full day. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Anyway, let's finish up here. So one thing I wanted to mention is the ginger. Check out this bag right here of ginger. You see this? Look. One of the members of the studio, and actually a former client of mine, gave me that bag of ginger. This is extremely nice of her, of course. That's stocked up. We're stocked up on ginger, safe to say. And ginger is very good for many reasons, inflammation reduction, recovery, digestive system benefits, if you're sick or you've got a throat ache or something like that, it helps to clear out your throat. Like I said before, you want to offset the taste you'll get from the ginger, which is usually very powerful, with sweeter things. So keep that in mind. All right, this is the finished product. As you see, it's red like I said it would be before. Let me go ahead and give this a taste. It tastes amazing. Honestly, if you were to compare this to the taste of those green powders, no comparison. Now I understand that those green powders might have, you know, extensive list of veggies you can't even pronounce or didn't even know existed. This one has some more basic veggies, but you know, it's definitely a more natural process of getting the nutrients out of the veggies. Well, let's talk about the benefits as to how I felt juicing every day, almost every single day for the last 2 months or so. If you were to follow my Instagram, you'd see that I always post about this, and I call this the juice of life. The reason for this is because I noticed benefits from doing this almost immediately. And if you know me, I like to go into things that are hyped up and see if it's really worth it, because you know a lot of stuff in the fitness industry is a bunch of hype and it doesn't actually work. So this is one of those things where I figure, you know what, I gotta try it out. I haven't yet. Boom. Within the first couple of days, I already noticed dramatic differences in energy levels. One thing that I noticed was as I was getting less sleep, I actually found myself more energized as I would be drinking this as the days went on. With a little bit less sleep, I actually had more energy still. Another thing I noticed that was huge was whenever I would drink this, I definitely felt a lot better, like my stomach and all that wouldn't be nearly as gassy or nothing, which maybe you would think the opposite. That's not the case. I felt a lot cleaner, unfortunately, as marketing-like as that sounds. It felt a lot better. My energy was cleaner throughout the day. And I also noticed whenever I would take my caffeine, if I were to take a caffeine pill, that if I had this first, let's say on an empty stomach that day, I would feel the caffeine that much more. Now we could, of course, add these all up to, it's just an anecdote. This could obviously just be a coincidence of certain things coming together in that specific moment. But I found that constantly drinking this, there's a reason why I haven't stopped yet, is because it definitely helps. It's definitely full of vitamins and minerals that will help you, because micronutrients are just as important as macronutrients when it comes to building muscle, losing fat, overall health and fitness, and just having a better body composition and better life. Now, how it compares to the veggie greens? Again, the taste, you can basically make this taste the way you want. You're not stuck to a specific taste like you would be with a supplement. You're not stuck to the potential harmful effects of whatever else they put in those supplements. This is all natural. It doesn't get any more natural than this. Now, let's talk about blending versus juicing. What's the difference? Well, the difference with the juicing is this, and I'm gonna show you, so come on in here. This is what happens when you juice, okay? You're gonna have some remains here. This is essentially what it looks like, the scraps of the veggies, okay? So that's basically everything that's left over. And this is not a waste by any means. You might look at this and think it's a waste, but you can actually use this to make vegetable soups that actually taste amazing. So you can actually get multiple benefits from juicing this way. This doesn't necessarily have to go in the garbage, and I obviously wouldn't recommend that you do throw it in the garbage. Say blending obviously you don't get this because you're putting the whole veggie in as it is and just blending it so it pulverizes everything. And obviously you're gonna maintain the nutrients. You're also gonna maintain the fiber content in the fruit when you blend it. Now, it might be manipulated slightly, but something you won't get here is the fibrous stuff. So obviously this stuff that's left over, that's all the fibrous elements of the veggies, okay? That's all the solid parts of the veggies, obviously. So arguably you could be missing out on some of the fiber that you could get from the veggies, but it doesn't really matter because you can make the soup with it. You can still add these into, you know, any sort of soup really and get the benefits from that. But regardless, your diet should be packed with high fiber foods, you know, micronutrient dense foods. Don't use juicing as an excuse to not eat veggies and fruits throughout the day. Myself, I already eat multiple servings of veggies and fruits throughout the day, okay, on top of whatever else I eat, plus the juicing, because you can't really overload on these macros. Most people don't get enough veggies in their diet, and that's the reason why I think most people can benefit from juicing. So let's look at the overall benefits here. It's extremely cost effective because veggies don't cost much at all, at least not here in Canada, and I'm sure it's the same wherever you live. Also, it tastes better than most green supplements that you can find, okay? The convenience factor is not there, okay? It's definitely more convenient to take a powder and make it that way. However, the benefits could be much greater this way because it's a much more natural solution. You don't have to worry about any sort of manufacturing things that a company might be hiding from you, whatever the case may be when it comes to supplements. Great for energy. I really do feel like I can even feel the difference in terms of assimilation of foods, meaning I'm getting more out of the other foods I eat throughout the day. And that's pretty much it. You can still get the benefit of the leftovers. It really is worth the hype. So that's pretty much that. That is my recipe. For those that are asking, I do change it up a little bit here and there. You know, nothing crazy, that's all you need. I do recommend making this part of your daily habit. You know, micronutrients are just as important as macros. If you've been neglecting your micronutrients and you're looking for a great way to implement them and just feel better about yourself, feel better in general, this is the way to go. That is my take on the juice of life. It still holds that title. So cheers to life. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day and I'll see you in the next video.